Welcome back to the 9th Gym program, and today we've got another meta-analysis for the meta-analysis enjoyers. Anyway, Victory Road Circuit Series number 1 for the Spring Series, Qualifier number 1, 146 players. This happened on May 1st and 2nd. It's a 2-day event with 146 players. It's in Series 9, so bye-bye restricteds. We are now in Series 9 format. Goodbye all the restricted Pokemon, so we're back into Glastrier format. Lando, Coalossal, Moltres is back. You know, we've got Sand, some cool stuff. Celesteela kind of killed it. We've got a lot of really cool stuff, so we're going to talk about that today, and it's going to be a good time. We've got 21 placements, which is pretty cool. A bunch of little pop-outs here, but none of them actually have like spreads or anything, so we're pretty much gonna ignore them. We're just gonna talk about the teams that happened. Anyway, first off, let's go ahead and shout out Victory Road VGC. Great website, great resource. They set up all these tournaments, they set up all these graphics. Go check them out. Link will be down in the description below if you want to go check them out, or if you want to go look at this yourself. Anyway, let's get into it. So in first place, we had 8 rounds of Swiss, by the way, 8 rounds of Swiss, and then single elimination top cut. So there are a lot of 6-2, 7-1s and stuff like that, and then single elimination top cut from there on out, which is pretty cool. Anyway, in first place we have Simone, which is pretty cool. Got a good team here. We got Urshifu, probably the Dark Urshifu. Yeah, Dark Urshifu, with a Wicked Blow and stuff like that. Pretty standard stuff there. Magnet Regieleki offensive, you know, Tapu Fini with leftovers, which is interesting. AV, Lando, just a pretty, and then, you know, of course the P2 Glastrier combo. So pretty standard stuff there, you know, a pretty standard Porygon 2 Glastrier team. No Torkoal Venu. Actually, surprisingly enough, look at no Torkoal Venu. What? Alright. We starting off Series 8 with Series 9 with a splash. No Torkoal Venu, which is cool. But we do see, you know, Glastrier P2. Actually, it looks like this is pretty, like, all over the place. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff. That's why I really wanted to cover this. But I was going to cover it even if it was all just, like, you know, Glastrier P2, Urshifu, Regieleki teams. But, you know, Tapu Fini is cool. We're seeing Tapu Fini come back, especially with things like Glastrier coming back, which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, Glastrier P2. Very solid stuff. Probably a Life Orb Glastrier without the Brick Break Dusclops next to it. But, you know, Dusclops can also have Haze, so then you go Life Orb Glastriers. Life Orb Glastrier definitely being the standard now more than the weakness policy builds. Just something, you know, that we're seeing a lot. So awesome. Good stuff to Simone, Samvi. Whichever one, whatever name you want to go by, for winning the event. Awesome stuff. In second place, we have Orlando Luna with a Galarian Moltres team with the Coalossal as well, with both the dual setup. We get the Dragapult and the Urshifu. We are seeing a little bit more Follow Me come back, you know, with some Clefairies and stuff every now and again. So having the dual axis is pretty good, you know, the Dragapult as well as the Urshifu for the Surf, and for the Surf on the Dragapult and the Urshifu with the Aqua Jet. We do see safety goggles on the Dragapult and the probably sash on the Urshifu. Yep, it is. Pretty, you know, cool stuff tech there. Life Orb Galarian Moltres, since, you know, it's on the team with Coalossal Weakness Policy, or Coalossal G-Max, which always uses Weakness Policy. So, pretty cool stuff. Citrus Berry here instead of Pinch Berry. Assault Vest, so no Protect or anything. Cool stuff. Great stuff to Orlando Luna. In third place, we have a Sand team, which is really cool. Roberto Parente. I'm just going to go by first names here mostly because, like, I mess up a lot of last names. So, Roberto in third place. Awesome stuff. We got the Sand team, which is really interesting. Weakness Policy, Tyranitar, Focus, Sash, Excadrill. Nothing too insane there. Swords Dance on the Excadrill is cool. Thundurus is a natural pairing for this team since they are both physical attackers. They don't want to get intimidated. You also have Tapu Fini, so you don't get burned as much. Incineroar and Amogus. Pretty well-rounded team with the Sand. Love to see it. Sand is definitely, you know, Tyranitar Excadrill is one of my favorite combos in Pokemon in VGC, like, ever, kind of. So I really like to see, you know, Sand doing well. You know, it's a nice little break from Kyogre. So much Kyogre last format going into a different weather, and seeing Tyranitar Excadrill. awesome stuff. In 4th place, we have Francesco with the Celesteela, the first of the Celesteela. It is not the Meteor Beam, but it just does still have Meteor Beam, but it's Life Orb, which is pretty cool. Life Orb beast boosting is pretty good. Bashful Nature, yeah, these natures aren't there. They're just all over the place. Protect, 3 attack. Meteor Beam being the spread move is pretty cool. Full Incense, Grimmsnarl. So we see Trick without the screens on the Gmax, on the Grimmsnarl, which we don't see very frequently. So we're seeing, you know, like Taunt and or Trick and Fake Tears. Fake Tears makes a lot of sense with the Celesteela, but we also see the Taunt and the Spirit Break, and the Trick with the Full Incense, which is really interesting. Tapu Koko is a cool pairing, but it seems kind of weird with Celesteela because you don't want that terrain going up in, you know, in the face of your Dynamax Celesteela. But it still makes sense. It's pretty good. And then you have P2 for all these, you know, mid-speed Pokemon, things like the, well, I guess the Celesteela. Landorus is a little slow. On the fast axis, you know, it's 156. When, you know, there's a lot of 170 to 200 Pokemon, things like the Tapu Koko, the Thundurus, stuff like that. So having a little bit of Trick Room set up is pretty good there as well. Ice Beam, Tri-Attack, pretty good stuff. That rounds off our top 4, so that's all of our money placements. So next we have still a lot of VR points, which gets you into our, or into the, you know, qualification. It gives you qualifications. What was I going to say there? I don't know. Anyway, in 5th place, we have Eduardo Cunha, Edu. Very classic player. Has done insane in Sword and Shield. I mean, obviously has done really well in the past as well, but in Sword and Shield really, really glowed. Shined as an amazing player. Anyway, Edu with the Coalossal team as well. We got the Coalossal. No Dragapult on the team, though, which I think is interesting. We do see the Spectre here with the no Bulldoze, so it's actually just like a Snarl Will-O-Wisp Spectre, which is really interesting. Safety goggles as well, which is cool. We see the Miracle Seed so for the Protect, which is really good. You know, a lot of players have been doing that for their really strong Grassy Glides, but still opting to go for Protect, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, we have the Aqua Jet Urshifu. This player did not really have faith in the Pokemon, the Follow Me guys, so you don't need the Dragapult. And actually, we do see the Grimmsnarl here. Let me move this down so you can see the Grimmsnarl. The Grimmsnarl has Lagging Tail Trick once again, so we are seeing, you know, players going for that Trick kind of shenanigans with Fake Tears with the Celesteela, and not going for, you know, the screens in this format, which is pretty interesting to me, but love to see it. You know, taking a break from the Grimmsnarl screens that has just been so apparent for a while now in our format, so it's pretty nice to not see that as frequently, which is cool. You know, I was seeing a bunch of Grimmsnarl and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, screen's gonna be super big. Yeah, it's more so Trick and Fake Tears, which is cool. Celesteela with the AV this time, which I think is pretty interesting, going for Flamethrower for that 4th attack, still Meteor Beam as well, so that's cool. Great stuff to Edu. In 6th place, we have Ismail. I hope that I said that right. And with a Regirock team, which is really cool. You have the P2, the Marowak Alola, and the Regirock. So very Trick Room oriented team, but we still do see, you know, Rillaboom with the Grass Glide, of course. Yeah, other than that, pretty mid speed to slow speed. You know, Marowak Alola is very slow, and so is Regirock, so those are really cool. We do see the weakness policy on Regirock without really any way of setting that off. Actually, no, Shadow Ball? No, wait, what am I thinking? That's not correct at all. There is Shadow Ball on this P2, which is pretty interesting to me. I think that's pretty cool. And we do see the Celesteela as well with the Lightning Rod on the Marowak Alola, so that's pretty cool. A couple of neat little synergies there, so awesome stuff to Ismail. Next we have Andrew Ding, another really another player that really popped off in VGC 2020. We do see Clefairy, which is cool, both the horses, so we see Spectre and the Glastrier, which is cool, but we do see Lumberry on the Glastrier, which I think is a really interesting way of doing that, and Swords Dance. So across the board, just a really interesting Glastrier. You know, the Lumberry, the Swords Dance, pretty cool stuff. No Protect, and going for the Heavy Slam as well. Pretty cool stuff there, going for the Swords Dance instead. I mean, it's fine to not have Protect on Glastrier. Honestly, Swords Dance gives you a lot more, you know, what was the words I was going to say? It gives you a little bit more versatility, since, you know, you're going to be maxing the Glastrier, like, probably 75% of the time. So having Swords Dance becoming max Protect anyway, max guard anyway, so it's fine. And then Electro Web here for added speed support with the Regieleki. The Clefairy with Friend Guard, Aviolite, really awesome stuff. Seeing that come back. Follow Me, Moonblast, Protect, Helping Hand. Pretty basic stuff there for Clefairy. No healing, no life dew. Going for that Helping Hand instead, so that's pretty cool. Another player using the Clefairy in rounding off our top 8 is Austin Acosta with the Clefairy team. Actually, this is identical to Andrew Ding, so they probably work together. Yeah, Lumberry, Swords Dance, yeah, probably work together. It looks very similar. Same moveset for the Clefairy. Same moveset across the board pretty much. I might be missing some stuff, but yeah, very, very cool team. So yeah, using the Clefairy, the Glastrier is really cool. No Trick Room setting. Does Spectre have Trick Room? No. Okay, interesting. So Glastrier without Trick Room. We are setting it up with the Clefairy though, which is good. You do have Follow Me, which is cool. So yeah, it works pretty well. Anyway, that's our top 8, so we're going to go a little bit less in-depth into the rest of them as usual. So in 9th place, we have Antonio with the Nihiligo team, probably the Meteor Beam. Probably Meteor Beam strats. No, it's actually Life Orb. Foul Play, interesting. So that's pretty cool. Kartana with the AV, pretty big in this format. We'll probably see that a lot. Mental Orb, Mimikyu, pretty cool stuff. Weakness. Wait, was that Weakness Policy? Dragapult? Wait, did I click the wrong guy? Yeah, 9th place. Weakness Policy Dragapult with the Shadow Sneak Mimikyu, so that's pretty interesting. Pretty cool stuff there. In 10th place, we got Siddharth with the Lando, the Incineroar, Togekiss, which we don't see very frequently. Spectre, Urshifu, Regieleki, pretty good, pretty generic good stuff team there. You know, that you have the double Intimidate, the Urshifu, Regieleki, which is just a very strong duo, very strong in the back. And then you have Togekiss as well. Which is just interesting for support. Follow Me. Probably it might be Razor Claw. Yeah, Razor Claw Super Lux. That's pretty cool too. A lot of crits. Toga crit. Pretty cool. In 11th place, we have Teru with the Celesteela Nihiligo. Is anything doing Power Herb? Yeah, it is. Power Herb Nihiligo. Power Herb Meteor Beam. It also has Ally Switch, which is interesting. So that's pretty cool. We got Rotom Heat back. Tapu Fini leftovers. AV Celesteela. That's something we're seeing a lot. In Full Incense, Trick, no screens on the Grimmsnarl, so that's pretty cool. With Fake Tears Celesteela really doing a number at this event, so that's pretty cool. Next we have Dragapult, Rotom Wash, Incineroar, Rillaboom. We've got the Togekiss, which, yeah, it kind of felt like it was going to be Scope Lens, or Razor Claw if you want to. But yeah, Scope Lens, Super Luck, pretty basic stuff there. The Stack Attacka with the Trick Room, Shuka Berry, pretty cool stuff. I do like to see Stack Attacka. It's something we don't see too frequently. And Dragon Dance instead of Protect on the Dragapult. Pretty cool stuff across the board there on that team. Next in 13th place, we see a Heatran, which is pretty interesting. And we also see another Rotom Wash, P2, Grimmsnarl, this guy, Rillaboom, that I couldn't think of for some reason, and Lando. Pretty cool stuff. A pretty mid-speed team, so the P2 works pretty well in there. You know, you have all of these Pokemon, the Rotom Wash, Grimmsnarl, the Heatran, and the Rillaboom all being pretty mid-speed. Heatran's pretty slow. Rotom Wash is pretty slow. It's probably pretty invested into HP and stuff. Citrus Berry probably alludes to that a little bit more as well. Shuka Berry, Heatran, and now we are seeing the Light Clay with the screens on the Grimmsnarl. Something that, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see not very much of that, the screens Grimmsnarl in this format. I would think, you know, that would be pretty big in this format, but still pretty good. You know, you don't need it as much without the restricted Pokemon. The restricted Pokemon do a lot of damage, so it's really good to have screen calcs for those, but without the restricted Pokemon, screens definitely still makes a lot of sense on certain teams, and yeah, probably worked out for a lot of these calcs. Next, we have Marco Martinez, Mars VGC. Check him out on YouTube, Twitch, all that kind of stuff. He's a great player as well. Lapras G-Max with the Life Orb, pretty cool stuff. No Tailwind, which is something we see a lot of the time with Life Orb G-Max Lapras, which is cool. Tapu Koko at Magnet, which is interesting for a Lapras team because you don't really want to, you know, you lose your Lapras, but that's fine. We do see the P2 with the Ferrothorn. And yeah, so Lapras probably has some defensive investment instead of just speed for the Life Orb, because of the you know, Trick Room on the team. Eerie Impulse on the P2 as well, which is pretty cool. Shuka Berry, Incineroar, which is interesting. But you also do have like Earthquake, AV, the Garchomp. So Incineroar probably wants to live that Earthquake if need be, if it has to like switch in, you know. So that's pretty cool. Like to see it. Shukaberry and Incineroar is cool. Next we have Emmanuel. In 15th place, we've got Incineroar, Ayapapa Berry, Lando. Pretty basic stuff, you know, Thundurus, Kartana, very, very aggressive physical attackers there, with the Urshifu, which works really well with that, you know, leading away that Intimidate, although you do have Wicked Blow, which just helps that out in general. Tapu Fini keeping your Kartana and Thundurus, well, Kartana at least, away from the burn, so that's pretty good. Like it, I like it. Next we have Naoya. Well, I botched that name, Naoya. With the Regieleki choice specs, which is something we don't see very frequently anymore with Regieleki. Choice specs, Regieleki, we got the Lando, Rotom Heat, Porygon 2, Glastrier, kind of stuff here. Pretty generic, good stuff there. Rotom Heat being instead of like Incineroar. 1 Intimidate's enough to this player, which I think it is most of the time. So yeah, pretty good stuff. In 17th place, we have another Celesteela team with the Garchomp this time, which is really interesting. This was something I played around with a lot. Garchomp really does a lot of tick damage with like Rock Slide and Earthquake and stuff. Swords Dance is really good for that as well. We see the Light Clay screens on the Grimmsnarl. Putting things really in range for beast boosting Celesteela Dynamax to really just put in work. Assault Vest is really interesting here as well. I like, we're seeing a lot of Assault Vest Celesteela, so that's really cool. I think Dynamax offensive Celesteela is really, really strong, and obviously it's an incredibly strong contender for this format. Going by this event, at least, we see a lot of Celesteela at this event, which I think is well justified. Next, in 18th place, we see David Nicodemus, Nico Robin. We see David. That's the way to say it, just David. We see the Regigigas Weezing combo, which is really good, and also the Dragapult and Urshifu Coalossal combo with the Rillaboom for just to be there for his boys. Colbur Berry Dragapult is pretty good. Pretty interesting seeing that. We see the Will-O-Wisp, the Surf. Urshifu has the Focus Sash, so you know Dragapult wants something defensive. I get that. It makes sense. Colbur's really good, especially for like Sucker Punch. You know, Urshifu going around and stuff like that. Weezing with the Will-O-Wisp, the Taunt, Protect, Sludge Bomb, pretty basic stuff there. Regigigas at Life Orb. Yeah, pretty basic stuff across the board for that as well, which is good. Solar Beam on the Coalossal. Good stuff. Gabriel Madeira in 19th place. We see a Tapu Lele, which is interesting, something we don't see very frequently. We do see Whimsicott as well, which is cool. It is Choice Specs Tapu Lele, which is cool. Urshifu at Choice Band, which is cool. Heatran at Shuka. Whimsicott at Focus Sash with the Prankster Tailwind. We do see Protect on it as well, which, you know, definitely is good in a format with a lot of Incineroar or Rillaboom. You have Fake Out everywhere. It's good to get that Protect up. Spectre Life Orb with the Hyper Beam. So this is going to be a Dynamaxing one. We did see a little bit of Life Orb Spectre, you know, at the end of Series 7, but we are seeing it a little bit here at this event as well. So that's pretty cool. Next, in 20th place, Francesco, we've got Zapdos, Glastrier, P2, Regieleki, Urshifu, and Incineroar. Pretty basic stuff there with, you know, dual electric being the Zapdos and the Regieleki, which is pretty interesting. Not afraid, and Incineroar, so not very afraid of ground-type Pokemon. Or like Zapdos, you know, is not very afraid of ground-type Pokemon when the team would be. So that's pretty cool. We do see Urshifu Rapid Strike here on this team instead of the Dark. So that's pretty cool. Like to see it. Magnet Regieleki with the Protect, something we see more frequently nowadays. No Eerie Impulse on it, but the Eerie Impulse on the P2, pretty cool. Detect, Hurricane, Thunderbolt, Heat Wave, pretty basic stuff for a Life Orb, Zapdos, awesome stuff. And then last but not least, because it's not last in the qualifying, you know, X2 still going X2, losing unfortunately first in round 1, but still, it's okay. We do see Glastrier, no P2 or Dusclops on the team, no Trick Room at all on the team actually, which is pretty interesting. Urshifu at Choice Band, which is cool. Incineroar, Citrus Berry, pretty basic stuff there. Regieleki Focus Sash with the, yeah, pretty basic stuff there for the Regieleki as well. But Focus Sash is a little out from the norm. Glastrier Weakness Policy, pretty cool. 0 speed, makes sense. Garchomp, Assault Vest, pretty cool stuff. We're seeing a lot of Garchomp at this event as well, which was kind of cool. So yeah, awesome stuff to all the you know, qualifiers. getting your VR points, getting to that you know, the event at the end of it, you know, finals for the spring series. Awesome stuff. Anyway, that is going to be it for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Makes a huge difference. It really does. Have a good week, have a good weekend, and goodbye.